Right. Looks like we're ready to start. Hi everybody. Welcome to another day in programming. Yay. Thanks for taking the time to understand last week that I was a little busy, so I didn't get a chance to code on Friday, but we're back. So, first things first, I wanted to actually show off something real quick that I think is kind of important because this, well, this is my logs for my program called GetTBlocker. It's a program I wrote that is supposed to make it so that anything that accesses my servers obsessively gets auto-banned. It's mostly just to prevent bots and like web scrapers from just constantly reading into my GetT repos. Presumably they are like LLMs and stuff, so we basically monitor for bot behavior and just ban appropriately. So this program monitors that and does that all for us. However, recently we ran into an issue, and it's not really showing up right now, but essentially what happens is when there is a new ban, it actually says that IP set has reached its max limit, like the hash table. So there's a table of IPs it looks up to determine if it has been added or not. So it can't add anything else at this point. And so I realized that there was a fix to this, and the fix is to actually just add another deny list that contains more IP addresses. So originally I thought maybe I would have to like consolidate them into subnets, which is another fun project we could have done, but this one's a little simpler in that we just have to look for deny lists. So the way we're going to program this is essentially first detect, okay, does this IP belong in list 1? If it does, then we don't have to do anything. Like basically, if it exists in any current lists, regardless of how many lists we have, then we don't have to do anything for it. But let's say an IP address doesn't exist in the lists. It tries to add it to list 1, it'll find out that it's full, then it'll either look at list 2 or create a list 2. And then this kind of just repeats. So we have to modify our program to essentially do that now. So I'm going to open up Visual Studio, and I'm going to go ahead and open up GetTBlocker here. I don't typically work on this project on stream, but today we're going to make this modification. It's a relatively small program. It doesn't do too much to detect things. It just checks for it just checks an access log to see what endpoints are being accessed. And then if these endpoints are very obscure ones that only bots would be interested in, that's when we basically pull out the ban hammer and remove that IP address. You can also see some IP addresses are hard-coded in here, just to prevent the server itself from, well, banning itself. So, yeah. So first, the functionality we're going to add is determine if we can add it to the list, right? So there's two ways to check for this. One is we read our journal entries, and from the previous runs, we keep a list of all the IPs that have been banned thus far. This works when the program has already been running, but it doesn't work for any new IPs coming in. So you can see now, actually you can't really see, but yeah, I mean you can kind of see down here there are new things, but most importantly are these messages right here that say hash is full, cannot add more elements. So this is a limitation of IP set, which is the firewall access table I am using, access table system I am using. So that's going to be the part we work on today, essentially. So yeah. Let's get going. So first, we need to be able to read the current access log. I'm gonna actually pull up another putty window here so we can like play around with commands real quick if we need to. Just gonna log in. Okay, so now that we're in here, we have ipset-t list. And if I were to run this, it would tell us all the lists that exist. We could potentially use this as a way to determine, okay, how many lists do we currently have in memory? So we're like checking all of them, right? So that might be a good idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be the first command we parse. We're specifically looking for a line that has name colon in front of it. And if it does, we'll go ahead and parse the actual name of the table and store them in a vector of tables. IP access tables. These are going to be a vector of strings, just the name of the table itself. Okay. So, in order to parse this, let's make a function that accepts this whole command as input, and then looks for lines containing name colon in front of it. So we'll have to have access to this IP access tables variable. So I'm actually going to go ahead and throw this function inside of here as a lambda function that we can just call directly. I don't think we have to really like separate our functions too much and like outside in this global namespace. We'll just kind of keep it tidy in here. So we'll call this parse access lists. And we'll go ahead and just run this code right off the bat. So essentially, I'm just going to call it kind of like this. Parse access lists. And this should be an auto. Const auto. Okay. I think we can also just run it directly if we do that. And then this wouldn't be a thing. Instead... Wait, how do we do this? I think we wrap it in parentheses. Would that work? But we have to know in advance what this is, right? Like, we have to set a variable for this, so I don't know. I'm a little... I guess we could just... standard function it. Like, I would like to call it directly, but I think it's a little more confusing to write it that way, so we're not going to. Anyway, parse access lists. So for this, we'll just presumably run a command and it will write to a file. And the command we're running is sudo ipset-t list. This will be running under root, so it will not need an interactive prompt to figure out to resolve sudo. So we don't have to worry about that part. Like we can see down here we did some standard system calls for pretty much the same exact thing. Since it's running as root, we don't need to specify sudo. So we're going to do the same thing up here. We're going to run a system call. And I believe it accepts a char star. Yeah, so we're going to have to convert it to a C string. But it's going to look like this. And we'll just output to a known location. Probably like... I am hard coding these into my directories, so we might as well just IP set list like so. Once that resolves, we should have a file here, so we can go ahead and open it up and take a look at it. So for that, we'll need an ifstream. Fstream is already included in the includes. So I'm gonna go ahead and call ifstream IP set list. And we're gonna open this particular file. So far, so good. Then we're gonna read all the lines of the file. So while ipsetlist.good. let's do standard get line. Oh, we're gonna need a string to store this in. So standard string line. It's a very quick way to get any particular line. Specify the stream, followed by the variable you want to store it in. And it will write that line to there, and advance the file marker. Then we're gonna look for name colon space. We're specifically looking for this, because that's what we're going to parse. So we're going to say if standard find, and at the same time we can assign it, so if we do find it, we can actually go ahead and immediately do something with it. So let's assign it to a size t name marker. So standard find, or is it standard find or is it line find? I think it's a line find, yes. It's a line find, and it does accept a char star, so we can do name colon space, and we don't need any offset, and we need to make sure it's not equal to standard string end pause. Let's see here. Expected a parenthesis. Oh, I need to use equals sign assignment here. So I think equals or assignment resolves before the conditional, but we can always double check. Let's go to our C++ or operator precedence, and assignment happens. Where is assignment? So here's not equals, it's at 10, and assignment is down here at 16, so we would expect that this would resolve before. So since it resolves before, I do need to wrap these in parentheses. So I was incorrect about that. Which also means this doesn't resolve because name marker doesn't exist yet. But in, I think, C++ 20 and higher, you can define something outside of an if statement beforehand. And so you can do something like this, which then can be used in the rest of the expression. So this might be the way to go, actually, if we wanted to do something like that. Since this will always execute first, if there's a semicolon. It'll just go left to right, as if they were regular, like, expressions in lines. Like, it's essentially the same thing as doing this if you wanted to. It's kind of interesting, a little newish. I like using it. It can be nice sometimes, but it can be a little confusing if you're not used to doing that in front of it. You can also do a comma, but that's a little less traditional. But this is allowed now. So with this name marker, if it's not equal to end pause, we know we found something, so we have to parse this string. We'll take the substring of anything after name marker plus name, which is exactly 6 characters long. So that's going to be a name we add to the IP access tables. So we'll do an emplace back on it. And IP access tables is not actually accessible right now. We have to pass in this reference, like this program, and it will be able to recognize that variable now. So we're going to emplace back the name we parse. So we're going to do line substring, and we're going to start from the name marker plus I guess 6. And just go to the end. Anything after it will be part of the name. So, if we wanted to test this, we can. Although I think I have to change the file names, but I can kind of emulate it. Let me see. Because I do have bash. Git bash, so we can kind of use that to do this. I just have to get to the folder containing this repo real quick. See users. I think it's under here, so go on. Source repos. And we're looking for git blocker. I don't see it in here, surprisingly. Maybe it's in dev and I just didn't see it? Source. It's git dash blocker. Interesting. So, presumably if we run it, it will be in here. Let me open a git bash here, and we can see that git bash has already established like a linked folder name for us to use, so we can use this for now for the sake of testing. So I'm just going to change this to look like this, although we're not going to run the system command. We can actually ignore that, so I'll comment that out for the sake of our testing, and we'll go ahead and make a copy of it in here. So let me get that file. I'm just gonna open up WinSCP real quick and connect to our server. Hi there, ABX. Welcome. Yay, I joined early. Nice eyeshadow. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. We're just getting started with, we're actually modifying my little git blocker program, which is supposed to detect and ban IP addresses that look malicious or suspicious. So that's what we're doing right now. Let me go ahead and save this list as if I ran it right now, just for the sake of having some test data. You know what? I could just make this file on local myself too. Let me just take that. And let's just do a nano IP set. Just like that. Are you using any LLMs? I do not use any LLMs or AI in general. Okay, so place back. In fact, ironically, I am actually preventing web scrapers from accessing git to deny LLMs from using my stuff. Is essentially what is going on. Well, like, I notice a lot of these are like Amazon AWS compute instances, and you can only imagine those are specifically for these language models. Like, it's hard to imagine them wanting to scrape it for any other reason. And especially that aggressively. Like, when I was first monitoring this, I'm like, there's no way any normal web scraper would want to do what these are doing access-wise. It's very bad. So... Plus, they don't respect robots.txt, so it's already like, oh, come on. I don't think anything really does anymore. The web is kind of the wild, wild west right now. So I'm just gonna read this because I made it manually. I think I called it IP set. Yeah. So I'm just gonna use that for now, and we'll just run it real quick and see what we get. See where we're at. Okay, I'm just going to go in here, and we should find at least two, ideally, if I did this right. Oh. Okay. Huh. Also, what is going on with this window? Let's just go here, I guess. Maybe it just couldn't open the file at all. Okay, we're not in here for some reason. So it couldn't find this, I guess. Oh, you know what? This is only mapped in git bash. This isn't actually on my hard drive. People respected robots ever? Who knew, right? Also, hi Moros, welcome. I have to actually use the one that is assigned on Windows, so let me just do this. And I gotta escape all the backslashes. We should be okay now. Or not. It still can't find... Oh, let me add IP set there. I give them something they have no choice but to respect, like an HT access. That's very fair. Okay, so... this one gets one. I'm just gonna breakpoint there now, because we should get one more. So, IP access tables should become a size of 2. Deny list and deny list 2. So the idea here is when the program starts running, it's going to read in all IP band tables that currently exist. Supposedly, at least I just found out that the IP access tables can only be a certain size, so when one is filled, we have to make a new one. So this program will read all of them at the very beginning, and then after that, it has to determine, or it has to, when it detects a new IP address, it needs to attempt to add it to any of these access lists, because the IP address may already exist. If it already exists, then we'll also get a message saying so. So, for example, let me just do deny list real quick. And... oh, that's not how you view it? Dash L? I forget. Okay, IP set help. I need help. Dash print elements sorted. Commands are list the entries of a named set or all set. Oh. So I want to do IP set list, deny list. So let's say we have all this, right? So next we need to look at these lists and try and parse them. By default, my assumption is all my users are jerks. Yeah, that's the only safe assumption, you're right. So this list is all the currently banned IPs, but it is full, which is why we're making a modification to the program today, because we can no longer ban people at the moment. I'm gonna make 2 of these so I can reference them side by side. So first we're going to go in here when we attempt to add a user. So this is where we actually add the user to our list of banned, or no, excuse me. This is still parsing the log, but here is where we actually ban a user. So we run this command, IP set add deny list. Now this list is going to depend on whether or not, or we're going to first loop through all possible lists and attempt to add them. But any of these can fail. Right now I'm piping the output to dev null. I might want to actually read the contents of that output elsewhere. So might want to do that instead. You can't ban people? Well, there's a lot, and it's kind of automated. Like, I can't sit there looking at every IP and resolving, like, where they're coming from. Like, it's too, like, it's too tedious. It's not just, like, a couple of places. It's from all over the place, because it's the internet, right? So ideally, it needs to be automated, and it needs to maintain itself. That's the goal. And this program already does that. It's just that apparently IPset has a cap for each list. So that is the current issue we're running into. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to add it, and if it fails, it tells us it already exists if the IP was already there. So it's like IP set add whatever IP to deny list, right? And oh, I flipped those. It should be add deny list and then the IP address. And what we get is it says element cannot be added to the set, it's already added. So we're looking for this response to determine if it already exists in a previously created list. Fail to ban. How does that work? Out of curiosity. I'm always curious to learn new stuff. So, we're looking for that string. So we're gonna get... Basically, we're gonna store the output of this command somewhere. So again, I'm just going to hard code it kind of like this for now. Let's put it in... I'm just gonna call it deny add. And then we have to read from it and look at what happened. So let's do a standard input stream. Deny result is read from that file name. And we're going to say while deny result good. We're going to read from it. It should only be one line. So I don't suspect we're going to read more than one line, but you never know. And then we're going to say if. So there's actually two possible outputs here. Well, three possible outputs. Either it's going to say the set with the given name does not exist, which should never happen because we should be iterating through every single list that already exists. Element cannot be added to the set, or the one we just got, which is this one. Or, excuse me, this one, hash is full, cannot add more elements. Because if we get that one, it means it doesn't exist in the list, but we also can't add it. But that's why we're iterating through multiples, is because it's possible it might exist in one list, but not the other. It doesn't keep addresses permanently because IPs are burners anyways that a legit user might use in the future. I see, I see. Like, at one point I was thinking, should I just make a whitelist instead of a blacklist, right? But in the same hand, like giving users a chance to say they are valid is, I guess, okay. Authentication failures and scrapers? I see. Yeah, that's fair. I just don't really want anything that isn't a human to access it, if that makes sense. Like, why waste bandwidth on it, right? That's more my goal. It's like, why are we wasting bandwidth serving to something that is not a human? Because all I care about is serving the repositories to people that actually want to look at the repositories. Not to steal code or archive the code. For whatever purposes, right? Presumably LLMs, if we're seeing these are like, oops. So we're gonna say here, if we're assuming they're like from these giant Amazon compute nodes. So we're going to look for, I guess we're only interested in one message because the other two messages result in the same thing, in that we're going to keep looking at other lists. So we're only interested in, I'll just look for like this string, it's already added, because that's fine, that'll work. So we don't even need to keep track of the position, we just need to know if it exists. So if standard find, is there a contains? There might be a contains, right? No, okay. I feel like that's something that would be highly requested. It's like standard string should have like a contains or something. I can do standard, or there might be one and I just don't know about it. Standard get line on from deny result to line, and then line find. we're looking for this substring is not equal to standard string end pause. Then that means we found it in the sense of it's already added, we don't have to add it again. So if that's the case, we don't need to output this message because it's not a new offender, it was an old offender. So we're not gonna... And we're gonna put this in a loop, so now we can break out the loop. But this is also under a while. Wait, I messed this up. Yeah, what did I just do here? Yeah, that else is not right. It's just we need to break in general. We skip executing these last two lines, so we can say... What's that, a boolean? IP has not been banned. Already. I'll just set to false by default. And then we set to true if this is the case. And we can break out of our loop. But we're gonna have a loop on top of this, so it's like... I don't think... Wait. I don't know if C++ has, like, break via label. Can we do that? Let me try that. I don't know if it's C++ that does that. Big open source projects have solved this by having a redirect to their GitHub mirrors and letting GitHub shoulder the responsibilities. And if you want your repos private, then they would need your keys to access it anyways. GitHub mirrors, huh? That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably an easy way to make sure. Yeah, self-hosted introduces a lot of interesting problems, I guess. In the sense of you kind of have to figure everything out yourself and what you want to set up with. I just like the fact that it introduces a new programming aspect that we can just kind of work on. It's just a little pet project, so I like doing this kind of stuff. It's fun to try problem solve like that. But yeah, let's see here. So we got a new offender detected here, but we need to cancel out if we get to here. So this will be wrapped in an if. IP has not been banned already. Then we can do this. But all this will be wrapped in another loop. Or, excuse me, let's see here. This insert is okay because if it already exists in the set, it's not going to add to anything. KD and Enum are the two that come to mind where any Git operations are proxy to the GitHub mirrors because of LLM and scrapers. Yeah, I'd imagine, for sure. This is also why I don't provide an index for PG Tinker shares. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's very fair. That way they're not just... what would you call it? It's not easy to... It's not predictable to know how to access them. They're... What is it called? There's a name for it, right? They have, like... You basically assign random words mushed together. I forget what that's called. But essentially it makes like a special... Yeah, it's a slug. URL slugs. So it's not predictable which pages will lead to valid projects. It's very fair. Okay. So... For this, we need to loop through all elements of our IP access tables list, because each one potentially has this IP address inside of it. Can I pull a string view from here? Yeah, we're not gonna do anything with it, right? So, maybe for once we can string view. Finally. Okay, so read from there, and then say... Instead of this, we're going to, I guess, standard format this. Ooh. I can't standard format it. But we will... separate this. I can't standard format this because this needs to be C++ 17, at least right now. And format, I think, is 20. So you can see it's commented up here. I don't have 20 built on my server, and I don't want to download it, so I decided I'm not going to make it use anything beyond 17. I think we have to do .str. .data would give us a const char. Is that what we have to do? Have I really never, wait, does that mean we now have access to string view then? Or string view 17? I don't know. Hold on, let me fix this. Why isn't this project... Oh, we're on 20. Okay, go back one, please. Okay, so string view is available, apparently. How do I get this to be a string? ToString? I guess the plus doesn't work. Does this exist? I don't think it exists. What else can we do here? Because this, what I just did should have produced what? Const char star. I mean, I could put in a string buffer. I don't know why I can't just do this. Like, that doesn't work. Okay, weird. Let's try an a string stream. That's what we want. I think it's, I always forget if it's string stream or is it str stream. One of the two, right? I'm just gonna call this ipset command. That way I can actually use the right thing. And it's an incomplete type. I think it might be the file. The include is strstream. I think that was it. Strstream for the string stream object. Oh, apparently not. Strstream then? Okay. So far it's happy. Wrap it in standard string. Oh, standard string has a constructor for it. Okay, thank you. I'm like, there has to be a way. I'm pretty sure. Okay. You're right. That's how you convert. That's why I was having trouble in my game using string view, because I would realize I have to convert it back to a string a lot of times, and that's expensive. Like, when you're talking like every game frame. Like, you never want to do that in a real-time application. It's very expensive. So, yeah. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, the name of the list is going to be used in the command now. And so... this should be the same. Check if it exists. So if we get to here and the IP has not been banned already, that's when we, you know, say new offender has been detected and add to the ban list. New offender count goes up. Either way, it gets inserted into a ban list. But this would indicate if we never get this set to true, it means that it couldn't get added to a list. Well, no, that's not true, right? Because, let's see. If we run this command and this appears, IP has not been banned already, but we need another one that says it has been added to a list. Also, this is in the wrong scope. So, we're interested in that, and IP added to ban list. So I'm trying to think, is there a correlation here? I don't know if I actually need this variable, because if it's already added, we set this to true and this to true. If we get to the end of this for loop, this is false, and this is false. So they represent the same thing. In that no matter what, we've already determined we want to ban them, so if it doesn't exist in a list already, we need to add it to a list. but this command might have succeeded, which means this line.find didn't execute. So this might be false, but this might become... So these two stay false. It's just... okay. So... can we make the assumption that we have to make a new access table if these aren't true? No, we can't, because it's possible this command added it. So we have to determine if this succeeded or not, I guess is the next thing. So if it succeeded, it actually isn't going to produce any output. Like, let me just do this real quick. Actually, this will fail. Let me add it to deny list 2, which is my test list. It doesn't produce any output, I don't think. It just adds it. Yeah, so if we get no output, then we know it succeeded. I guess that's fair. Any other output would mean it failed. So silence means success. So I think it would be safe to say that we should try and see if there is nothing. Like, would a silent file ever go through this? I don't think so. I guess we could test. Should be using some exec stuff. Is that to get proper return values, capture standard out, etc. Is that in the standard? Is it just like exec? Execution control library, execution. This header is part of the execution algorithm libraries. C++ 17? Am I... Execution control library. Wait, this is C++ 26. What are we looking for? Oh, S level? So, like, for example, Linux might have, like, an exec library. Yeah, like something like this, right? Presumably. I see. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's very fair. I guess we'll stick with this for now, for the fun of it. We're already committed. But I do need to determine if returning nothing will enter this loop. I don't think it does. I think it just returns end of file, so good won't execute. Kinda wanna try it real quick. So let's just say... yeah, we could try it real quick. Let me just generate a file, right? Like, or let's just touch test, right? So that clearly, that should have nothing in it. And so now, let me just try to read it. Let's open an example project real quick. Reading it should just not do anything. Let's just do standard ifstream file. I guess I need the directory of this thing. Test. So it's called test. And then let's just try while file good. And just say I'm in here, right? Standard cout in here. And that probably won't actually run. But let's see. Standard system has and always has been evil. What happened? Oops. Oh, we are in here. File? Well, what do we get then, is the question. Because now we're in infinite loop, I presume. We're just gonna hit this forever. Okay. So... standard get line, I guess. So we just get nothing? A blank string? Line. Standard get line. File line. It's a forever loop, indeed. So after this, line is a 0 length string. Okay. That's very fair. And then it should exit. Okay. Cool. Understood. So let's treat it that way then. Good thing we tested, because I presumed it wasn't even going to enter here, and our program would have gone stuck. Okay, so... let's just throw in an else here. If line length... in fact, we should do it the other way, right? First check if it's empty or not. If line length is equal to 0, less than doesn't really make sense. It means it succeeded. So then IP has been banned already. Or no, IP has now been banned. So we're done here. This has to be true though. So this means something else now. This means IP exists in list, I guess is the correct reason, the correct representation of this variable. IP has been banned. Because it either has been banned prior or is being banned now. So either of these statements will make it do that. And now we have to exit this for loop, so I don't know if this works, but I'm gonna try it. This is like the outer loop. So this is inner access table loop, or IP access table loop. It's either gonna be a go-to, or it's going to be a break, or I can add another condition in the for loop, or while loop to get out of this while loop. But basically saying if IP... oh, that's why I added if IP has been banned, so we can get out from here, right? Because we're gonna finish reading the file no matter what. We just break. Because we're done. Yeah. Because if I have to do a go-to or a break using a label, I think that just looks weird. Yeah, usually that's solved by just having another variable that tracks the condition that you need to leave from. And I guess at the same time we can perform this, because we are breaking anyway, so we're done processing. So this is fine to combine. I think from there we should be good. A little bit of cleanup and moving stuff around, but that's essentially what we want. Iterate through all IP access tables, see if we can add to them. So next, if we haven't added, that's when we actually create a new table. So that's the next part of this, creating a new table. So if it hasn't been banned, it needs to be banned, so now we're going to make a new table for it. So the list of commands, I think I executed this earlier just for testing. I don't see it. Let's try history grep. Deny list, maybe? I'll probably guess what we want. Okay, so yes, these two commands will add it to our IP tables list. and we just have to include what the actual table name is. And then those will officially be available and start filtering properly. We also have to run this command at the very beginning, the ipset create. So it'll be a couple commands to run. I could technically run them all back to back, like in one command if I wanted to, but I'll separate them. So again, we have to convert it to a string. Well, actually, no, we don't. We have to make a new table completely. So I'm basically using the schema deny underscore list and then follow that with a number. So the number will be the number of elements in here plus 1 because we're adding a new one. So we can do IP or deny underscore list plus IP access tables size. I do have to toString this one. Standard to string. And I would do +1. And then we can go ahead and add that list at the same time. So I guess... what happened here? Oh, I see. This has to be converted to a C string. Okay. At the same time, I guess we can actually create a string that contains the name of the table, the new table. So, new table name. Like so. And we can just pass that in. It'll be a little easier. So now the command looks like that, and then we can use that new table name to add it to our IP access tables because now it exists. So we'll also put it in our program's list of tables, so they're in sync. And then from there, we can actually add to that list. So then we have to run this again. It should succeed, so if it fails, something went very wrong. Maybe we'll report that. So if it's not equal to 0, then something kind of went terribly wrong. This should be new table name. Let's just put a cout warning failed to add IP. Whatever, for some reason. Should be IP address. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, it should just be fine. Oh, we have to read it though. Is line defined right now? Oh. I see. We read that file again. So it'd be like, this is the output. I could probably, like, actually make something to, like, kind of combine, like, standard system plus read result, blah, blah, blah. So, that might be an interesting, like, little abstraction to clean this up in the future. We are only interested in getLine to then see if it's blank or not. What else? What else? I think that's it. Oh, okay, and then add it to our firewall rules. So right here we have this. 2 commands. So again, we're gonna have a string that we have to convert to a C string. Also, I need to get rid of the pseudos. We don't need the pseudos. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay. And then in here, instead of deny list, it's going to be the new table name. And one more line. Forward. Okay. I think that is all the changes we need to make sure that this thing kind of works under the hood already. And maybe on top of that, not only will I add it to ban list, but I'll add it to a ban list. Well, see, I don't want it to say that's been added to a ban list when it hasn't been. So I still want to track these two separate states. Either it's been added to a list or it's already banned, right? So it's like... I guess this can be one of 3 states, which I'm tempted to just make a little enum for like the IP, like IP ban status, I guess is what I'm gonna call it. So one of 3 things: not banned, already banned, or banned, right? I'm like there's some logical confusion here. So then this will be one of those 3 states, and it'll start by being not banned. Unrelated, in revisiting mini audio, I've added a ramp up and down for the waveforms so that it doesn't click and nasty sounds going from on off on off. Nice. That actually is pretty nice quality of life. Good job. So this means it's succeeded, so banned. This means already was banned. So if IP has been banned... Oh, I'm gonna make this an Enum class, actually. And then say using Enum IP ban status. Only because I want the comparison to fail here. Is that not right? That should be right, isn't it? Is this like a later language feature? I'm not crazy, right? Or do I just say using? Using Enum. Using Enum. Using Enum is 20... Okay, it's 20. Dang. Okay, I mean, that's fair. Alright, I guess we get to be verbose. This program is restricted to 17 today, so we're just gonna have to make do. Okay, so, but basically I wanted to compiler error right here, because that statement will result in me thinking it's legit when it's not. So, yeah, I want that to fail, so that I explicitly say which status I'm interested in. So that's why I'm using Enum class. Right? I'm like, really? This is an earlier feature? Man, then I have to write more code. Or I have to write different code. It's crazy, right? But I guess it's a good practice. Like, realistically, if I have to write C++ in real world, I don't think it's reasonable to expect code bases to be 20 or 23, right? So, I think that's very fair. Okay, so this is if it has not been banned. Oh no, excuse me, if it has been banned, then this should be true. And then this should say if IP has been banned is equal to not banned. Then we have to do stuff. Okay, so 3 different states, 3 different results. Okay. I finally figured out what I want to do. I was trying to do with booleans earlier, and I was getting myself confused. So, in the same hand, we do need to say it has been detected and added, The one thing I would like to add though is which band list it gets added to now. So I want to just include that little snippet here. So this is going to say it's been added to access table band list. Okay, string view does work for that operator. And then down here, I want to say new table name band list. New table name. Cool. I think after that we should be all good. In all cases, whatever IP we detected still gets inserted into our band list. It's just it might not be synced up with the band list we already have on the server, so we have to handle that. And if it's already been banned, we basically don't put any messages out. It's already been banned. We don't have to worry about it. So I think my program is good to go now. We just have to run it in prod and hope it works. Yeah, I love that saying, right? Thanks, Moraz. Have a good one. Yeah. I'm just trying to see, is there anything that's just gonna screw up that's like super obvious? Oh, I do have to change the file path back. Let's see, what would it be? It would be this. So just read this file. So I changed that back. I think that was it. We tested this part using a local file on an example project. So I'm happy with this. Let me just make sure it builds. Okay, build succeeded. Let's go ahead and commit the changes. Added dynamic IP set adding a rule, or I guess a table creation, and auto detect already added IPs, which was not a feature before. Cool. So we're gonna commit that, and now we're gonna try it on the server. So on the server side of things, it's running a service. So since it's running as a service, this is just the log, so I'm not like stopping it or anything. First we have to do systemctl. I think it's a restart. I'm gonna try to find it real quick because I've done this plenty. Oh, first we have to pull the new code. That would be the first thing we have to do. So let's go to the git blocker repo. Oops, caps. And let's do a git pull. Also, this is hidden, isn't it? So, pull. We have to recompile it. No, oh, let me actually get into the project directory. Recompile that. Those are just warnings. Okay, looks good. Our new output file should be up to date. Dash A, please. Or not dash A, dash L. Shows us we compiled it at 2:16, which is the current time. After this, we're going to go... Yeah, we're going to now reload it. So let's go systemctl restart git blocker, which should launch from that specific program. I'll go ahead and restart it now. And we'll see if it's working. So right now, I actually want to delete the deny list 2 because I want to see it actually try to add deny list 2. Like, I want to see it in action. So I'm actually going to delete it. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. Or maybe, you know what? It might actually, because I have rules saying, but we're gonna create it soon anyways, so maybe that's not a problem. I guess we'll find out, right? We're gonna try to break it and see what happens. Let me go to ipset help to see how to delete a table. Destroy a named set. Okay, destroy. I like that's a very, like, powerful word. Destroy deny list 2. Set cannot be destroyed, it's in use. Oh. Well, maybe I should stop it first, shouldn't I? I think I have to stop the actual service. Oh, no, no, no. I think I have to remove it from the rules, don't I? I forgot to do that in IP tables. Shoot. Let me see. Let's look up my history of IP table commands, because I'm pretty sure I've done this already. Let's see. So, IP tables... I think it's actually just -D. Yeah, if you do -D, I think that is how you get rid of them. It's either -D or like -J. For some reason, I think it's -D. Alright, let's try that. I see I've done it before on my local IP for testing. I'm pretty sure that's the one. So... I'm just gonna run those commands. But I'm gonna put -D instead, and hopefully that gets rid of them. We can hope. -D deny list 2. Okay. It didn't spit out anything, so it must have ran successfully. Because normally it would say, like, something doesn't exist if it fails there. Like, if I run it again, I bet it'll say something this time. Yeah, bad rule. So, since it didn't say bad rule, it actually removed the rules. Good. Okay. Oh, and I think I just removed the wrong thing. So that's also bad. Let me do... So, -I... Yeah, I need to make sure not to delete the wrong ones, because that would be bad. Delete deny list 2. Okay, so I think we're good now. I have to be careful, because this is firewall stuff, right? So firewall stuff could be scary if we're not careful. That did not work. One more time. Okay, so that restarted get2 blocker. Let's just pull up the log and watch it real quick. So it says hash is full, cannot add more elements, and then new offender detected and added to deny list ban list. So it ran the command, I guess it just shows up here because this is the log, right? And then it's like... But it says it got added to deny list, which is... Hold on. Wrong, right? So line.length was not equal to 0. Is it possible... Let me see, because this would have happened, right? So maybe it ran this because there's a line of length 0. So there's a possibility it might be reading like the last line, and that's actually of length 0, and that's causing this to trigger after it's already been banned. Or if it's never been banned. Like this would have to be the very first line. So it's like read one line, see what we get. So instead, I would say if good, read line, instead of while good, read line. We're only expecting one line to read. We should not be reading more than one line. That's my suspicion as to what just happened. But if that doesn't fix it, then we'll try something else. But that definitely wasn't the result I wanted. Read only one line. Okay, so let's try that. Again, we'll just do another git pull and then a recompile. And then go ahead and restart. And take a look at the log. Okay, nothing happened this time. Somebody please get banned. Okay. That still doesn't work the way I expect. It just says it's been added to the deny list ban list, but clearly it's full, right? So I'm trying to think here why this is happening. Because the result, it should have like produced, let me see, am I reading the right file? Yes. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to output this and see what happens. Let's do some debugging, live debugging with print statements, because it'll be the easiest to run, because running it on the server will be a little tricky. I could also pull the files and like simulate it on my computer, but that's also gonna take some time, of course. I'm just gonna do an amend commit. And let's just see what happens. Okay. So, I'm not seeing anything. Right? Unless this is like from last run. That might have been from last run. Let's just wait. Okay. I need any IP, please. Okay, so I mean, now's not a good time to not have any. Anybody? 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 Just need one. Come on. Because if it got caught, at least it would announce that here. So no matter what, we expected that message at least, even if no other messages pop up. So we're just going through a drought right now because we can. What happened? I am currently modifying my Git blocker program, which is essentially a program that just monitors for certain, there's one, access log addresses or access log endpoints, and then uses that to filter out like bad actors. And then those actors are getting added to a list on my server as being banned. So interestingly enough, I'm not seeing a C out on this line. Almost like it just doesn't exist. Which is weird. Let's see if it exists. It should. That's not my username. Okay. But it's also just blank. Let's tail it and see if it ever gets populated. I guess it doesn't. Just kind of weird. It's just like nothing gets written to it. Also, it's just going quiet now, but yeah, like right now we have this issue where the current IP set access list is full. So the idea is to make another access list automatically if one is full. But first, it needs to see if IPs exist. The alternative route I could take, if for some reason this isn't working, is actually read the output of the IP set list commands, populate all the IP addresses that are banned already at the beginning, and anybody new just goes through the latest IP access list. That's another way to do it, but apparently this, like, according to this should work. I might have to run it through like GDB or something in a second here, which is a whole nother journey that we might have to take, because this clearly isn't doing what I need it to at the moment. I'm just trying to see if anything appears in this file at all. I just tailed it, but now nothing is happening. Wonderful. Maybe I should make like a testing mode where I can like force it to ban some random IP, and then it would give me the result of that. That might be nice, actually. Yeah, this isn't working. Okay, let's do this. Let's just make a testing mode argument. I forget which way it goes. It's either, is it argv and then argc, or argc and then argv? I always forget. Alright. Argc, argv. Cool. So I'm gonna borrow that real quick. And we're just gonna say, okay. argc is going to at least be 1, so if argc is greater than or equal to 2, we're going to assume we're in a testing mode. So in that case, we're always going to try and ban something. So let's just go down here, and maybe, let's see. I guess what we could do to try to like kind of insert it into here is yeah, how am I gonna get in here? Like, it's more likely I have to extract out this entire block, which is used to like ban a certain IP, right? This is actually all the parsing all the way down to right here. After this, yeah, all this is IP address parsing. After this, it goes into like ban IP. So we can make a function called ban IP and provide the IP address. And then the rest of it can be moved into a ban IP function, as we don't need anything else after parsing. So then, just make a quick little function called ban IP, given an IP address. It's supposed to be like standard string const ref IP address, and we go from there. This should also be part of main, so I guess it should be a lambda instead of a free function. So let's move that somewhere down here. So we can do const auto ban IP, pass in global scope as a ref. And I think that is more along the lines of what we're looking for. Am I missing something? What's this? Undefined? Oh, they're probably defined down there. Okay. So they're kind of stuck in this while loop for whatever reason. Oh, because the while loop does the sleep. Okay. So maybe we'll just do at the bottom here. Yeah. Or, no, excuse me. Up here, but inside of here, where all these variables live. Okay. That looks correct. We also have line. Line is supposed to be from the parsing, and this is the web address that we are accessing. I guess we'll say optionally, or yeah, we'll just say standard string page accessed. Yeah, this is the page that was accessed, and we'll just set a default to be blank, so that we don't have to do We don't have to rely on the line. So we're gonna do dot find here. Oh wait, I do this weird? Yeah. Page accessed. That way we don't have to rely on the file stream. What's this? No instance of constructor matches time. Okay, so time was from what? Because I guess we parsed more stuff down here and I didn't realize. Oh, time is here, so we need the time of access. Right, to determine like frequency and stuff. Which also gets parsed? Let's see. Because it's like a time map thing, so once there's enough accesses, it would refer to it that way too. I guess we're gonna add that here. Const standard string time. Time accessed. And again, I'll just put blank here. It actually just checks to see if the number of entries of a certain time is the same. Okay. And then this is into loop, so instead of continuing, we just return. Time did not get passed in. Oh, it's time accessed now instead of time. Which is fine. I think that's it. Looks like every parameter we're interested in is now there, so now we're going to do page accessed, which should be... let's see. You know, we kind of just pass in line, I'll be honest. And then time accessed is time. So now we can make a statement that says if argc is greater than or equal to 2, we're in testing mode, right? So then we'll just try to ban an extra IP here. We'll pass in, I'm just gonna use 1.1.1.1, and actually let's just use something local, like, well, not local per se, but something that, no, that's fine actually. I don't want to use something local because if it's a, what do you call it in networking? If it's a loopback to my local host, I'm just blocking myself access from the internet. Which is actually what happened the first time, is my server got completely locked out from the internet due to this program, which is why localhost is now part of the IPs that don't get banned. It like prevents it from banning itself. Which is absolutely hilarious. So yeah. Line. I'm just gonna add in one of these because as long as it finds it in the string here, it's going to perform a ban. So as long as I do that, it's fine. So it'll look something like this. That's optional. Okay. So that's just like a quote-unquote testing mode for us. And yeah, no matter how I look at it, it doesn't work. So we're gonna be debugging now. I just don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like put this through GDB or move files into here. I don't know which is gonna be easier. It's probably easier to debug in Visual Studio, so maybe I'll grab like some files to simulate this. Well, we know for sure that these commands don't exist. That's like the biggest problem, right? We need to be able to see the results of these when they're parsed. So okay, let's just go for it. We're probably gonna use GDB. I just added test ban IP, which should be announced every single time it runs, assuming we're running in testing mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, go to git pull. I'm actually going to stop the service now. Systemctl stop git t blocker. Xhister, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Okay, that's, I think it's git t underscore blocker. Okay, cool. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and run git tblocker locally in here. And let me just add test. That should be 2 arguments, so it should start banning 1.1.1 whatever. Also, I have to run it with sudo because it needs admin rights. Okay. It probably just did it like... wait. It didn't do it. Do I have to add more? Like, is argc like just 1? It should be more than 1. That's 2. Okay, so you can see here, there's actually a standard C out here with a blank line. Maybe it wasn't running the newest version, because now it's actually showing the blank line. So the blank line tells us, at least, that it thinks it succeeded, right? When it was actually hash is full. So I think we have to just detect for hash is full. So what I was assuming was actually correct. So... or wait, no, that's not right, right? Because... if we're reading this line and we're getting this, that means the command didn't work? Like, this is the output of that command. It should have... Yeah, I'm a little confused now. Because if it's displaying this message, then it was set to banned. Which checks out because we ran this command, it said IP set. Oh, you know what? If it's showing up, I wonder if it's under, like, error instead of the normal. Like, isn't it like 2? I forget how you capture errors, but I think it falls under the error instead. Linux capture std error? Well, I don't know why I put std error, but yeah. Oh, it's ampersand. It might just be under the error one, which might be why I'm not seeing it. Let's try this first. That very much is a possibility. Test std error. Okay, I just did amend there. That would make sense though. So let's do another git pull. Or emergent conflict. What? How's it emerge conflict with myself? Okay. That's a little weird. It like didn't fast forward or something. Commit. Merge? Question mark? Okay. Anyway. Git pull. Maybe that's why, like, I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see because, like, some things weren't working before. Okay, so that isn't it. At least it's not showing this output in there. It's just a blank line. But why? Like, it's not getting populated at all. Also, this isn't working. I don't know why this isn't working. I put greater than or equal to 2. It should be... it should work, in theory. Let me see. Something's going on. Or maybe it's just somewhere... well, it's after the while loop, so it should be at the very bottom. Running test... ban? Okay, let's try that. Hi there, Plastic Key. Welcome, thank you. It is not morning anymore, but thank you very much. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. We're currently doing a lot of troubleshooting. I think I'm probably gonna have to just bite the bullet and pull out GDB, because this is turning into more than I expected. Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that almost none of this is like going through. Something's going on. So, all right. I probably have to build this with debug symbols. So that's like dash J. What? Main.cpp21. Did I not check if it actually compiles? Oh, hello. Well, that might explain why nothing's been working that I've been modifying. Hello. Ugh, goodness. I haven't been rebuilding, have I? I've just been pulling and not rebuilding and then restarting it. That's why. Just trying to rush. Okay. Oops. Alright, well, that explains that at least. So it's not dash J, it's something else. GCC compile with debug symbols. Debug flag. Dash G. Lowercase g. Okay. So we might need GCC in a second, but I'm just gonna try this, see what happens. Okay, well the good news is, it attempted to add the test IP. The second good news is, I'm seeing double, and I'm also seeing a blank line, but we'll worry about that in a second. I'm seeing some doubles, so that's kind of a good sign. It's not consistent though. Like, okay, it got replicated here, why didn't it get replicated here? Right? That's a little weird. It's not consistent, and that's concerning. Actually, I have another theory. Maybe it's actually iterating through both. And then a blank. Maybe. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna remove this now, because we actually haven't been seeing the changes for a little while, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I've just been git amending because we're making like the smallest possible changes. Then let's take a look at this one. So again, this shows nothing. At least it's showing the blank lines again. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up GDB on git tblocker. And we'll see what happens from there. I don't know if I just put arguments here or not. I think you can. Okay. File format. Okay, it's probably it means something else. But anyways, we can go from here and see what happens. Also, I think I have to use sudo. Q. So it's been a while, so I'm gonna have to bring up some stuff for this. So before we run it, I need to breakpoint. Let's see. Let's breakpoint in. Let's breakpoint right after we try to add, right? Like there should be a file, so we're looking at something like this. So that would be line 81. I think it's B, but let me check. Add breakpoint. B, followed by function, file name, line number, whatever. B, main, 81. Alright, let's just try, let's start from here. Okay, so we got here, we have RIP, we have blah 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 stuff. Okay, so now, what's next? Actually, line 82. For some reason, oh, I was looking at a different line. Okay, let's go back to line 67, actually. Let's just... Oops. Now I have to remove this thing. Remove breakpoint. Del. Info B. Info B. Del 1. Main.cvp line 67, please. And let's restart. Okay. So... I think I can do like... Ah, shoot. There's a way to... There's a way to view like lines around the area you're currently at, just to see where you are. View surrounding code. Using the command line debugger, break, run, continue, next step, frame, BT, current function stack, print's current value, L list 10, there we go, L. So we're currently right here, which is, oh wait, we're currently here, right? 67? Yeah, 67. Okay, so we're gonna get a result from this. So we just like wrote to it, essentially. So let's just look at what's in this file, if anything. Okay, well this is tailing it, so clearly that doesn't work. Yeah, there's nothing in here. Like, it just... But I know for a fact that it didn't get added. Like, this command ran, and this was the result. Hash is full. So we know for a fact that didn't get added. And then there's a blank line. That must have been from... Well, I don't actually know what that line's from. Yeah, this is weird. Like, whatever happened here did not get added to this file. Like, ideally, running this command should put it in a file. Like, if I just did this... yeah. Permission denied, okay. What? What do you mean permission denied? That's interesting. Why? Oh, because it's being used, probably. Or it's... yeah, like, this is about to be opened, or has been written... I don't know. This is... It hasn't been opened yet. This line hasn't ran, right? If I just go down to the next line, like, I just step... Step again. So, right now... What is line? Line is blank. Okay. But we are reading it, so... I guess the question is, why did it end up being blank? And why is... Is there something wrong with that file? Did I, like, break the file? Okay, so we can see it's printing that out, so it's not going to standard out. Okay, now it's not going to standard out, so it goes in there. Okay, so we do have to use the error stream. So that's good information. Okay, so that's one of our issues. I'm just gonna go ahead and... So if it succeeds then, right? It's not gonna go to the error output. Like, for example, if it was already added but it wasn't full. We don't have a deny list 2, do we? Also, why did I have to use deny add 2? Is like deny add broken or something? It was added by root. Oh, that's probably why I can't access it, huh? I can't write to it. I mean, that's fair, but... Either way... Deny add 2 has content in it when we do it like this. Which I think is fine. Oh, you know what? I forget there's a second one that tries to add it in here, so that must be what the 2 output is coming from, is it's printing it out here again a second time, right? So if it fails, yeah. I think we're only looking for error messages then. That's what it sounds like to me. Because if it's been added, it's been banned. But if it already exists, or if the hash is full, it hasn't been banned. So then we move on. So I'm gonna commit this. We have GDB open now, so we're gonna step through more and really debug what's going on here. It looks like this is gonna be a majority of the rest of our programming session today, but I do want to get this working, so that's okay. Hit pull. Go ahead and recompile, and let's just go ahead and run it and just take a peek. Okay, so that's interesting. Like I said, sometimes there's more than one message, sometimes there's nothing. And I'm not sure why, so I guess we're gonna find out again. What is going on? Let's go ahead and breakpoint again at line... I think this was a good one. 67 was good. Rum. Okay. Whoa, hold on. What is happening? I thought we had a breakpoint here. Cannot create IP setlist. Oh, I need to sudo it. I forgot. I'm like, everything's broken now. Nothing works. Okay. Break at 67 and go ahead and run. Alright, let's see. So hash is full, cannot add more elements, right? And again, that's under deny add. Which again shows nothing, so... That's weird. That's very weird. Line is blank here. just for fun, I'm gonna try the deny add 2, because we did see something in there, but like, I have a feeling, like maybe it's just the way standard system works that we're having this issue. Maybe Moros was right, and we should probably just use exec, which is, in this case, Linux only, but I guess if it is running on a Linux system, why not, right? We might have to switch to that, because I think this is either like being very finicky or just not working out for us, so we might have to resort to that, which is fine. We live and learn, right? Let's do this one more time. Same thing. I'll just step, 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 step. Print line. Yeah, we just get nothing here. Honestly, I'm surprised that this just doesn't work right. Okay. So, exec. The exec family of functions replaces the current process image with the new process image. And then I assume it returns, like, some result or something for us, maybe? Oh, you know what? I think another way to get a result is via, like, the code that comes after a command, right? Like, can't you just do, like, wrong place. Like, let's say we ran a command, right? And it failed. Like, do I have my example here? Okay. Maybe in my other window. Did I just close my other window for no reason? This one? Nope. This one? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So yeah, we were running stuff earlier, right? So... like, this failed. I think echo... okay, maybe not that one. Print error code? Bash? Exit code is echo money question mark. Okay, yeah. Because I'm thinking... can we at least use this? That's my other question, right? Like, if we ran a command and then did this, it would be non-zero to determine an error, and it would be 0 otherwise. Like, if we ran this again, echo works fine, so... but, like, if you mess up echo and do something stupid, like... blah blah blah, I think that all fails. Or maybe not, because that's valid, but, like, something like this... I'm trying to think of how to make this fail. Oh, actually, let's just do, yeah. So like this, that's a failing command in theory, so... I guess echo still doesn't produce an error for that. That's an error, right? Okay, for sure. Either way, maybe we can try using this instead. It's just like a last-ditch effort. Instead of writing the output or the result to a file, maybe we can at least check the error code. Then let me check one more thing. Do we get a different error code for IP set if we have something already included versus it just didn't work? So let's try list, deny list, and let's just grab a random IP and let's just try to add it real quick. Because this is for one that already existed. So it produces the same error code. So we would have to go the other route where we parse this file to figure out which addresses have already been added. So, I guess as a final effort, let's try and do this other route. After adding this, we call echo whatever and see if that produces anything. I should probably test if this actually works first. Let's make a test file. Test.cpp. Let's just do standard IO or standard, yeah, standard or IO, right? Or no, IO stream. I don't know why I'm thinking standard IO. IO stream, and let's do F stream. I think that's all we'll need. And we'll just say int main. Do some command that we know is going to fail, and maybe one that succeeds, and then let's check the results of those commands. So I already had an example here. We can just use this again under standard system. So it looks something like this. And then afterward, we would output that to a file of some sort. So I'm just gonna call it last command here for the sake of testing. And maybe we'll just read it first before we go any further. So this should produce a 1 if it actually runs. Test.cpp, output to test. Let's chmod it, make it executable, and run it. And let's check the contents of... forget what it was called. It was called last command. Did it not write it in here? Where did it write it to? What? That's weird. I did run it, right? Where'd it go? Wait a second, did I not output correctly? I put test. No, I did test. Is it in my home directory? Last... No? Where is this file? Maybe it just didn't work. Okay. Maybe it went to some temporary directory. Let's just try an absolute directory. Because maybe it's running it as like a different user, right? Maybe it's running it as root user or something. That would be my guess. So it might be in the root home directory. Entirely possible. Oops. Dang it. Where is this command? Are you in here now? Just do this. Slash last command. Grep. It is not found. Why? That's so strange. Like the fact not even this works. What does system return? Does system return the error code? Can I just use that? Hold on. I didn't even think about this. Return. Let me see. On POSIX systems, the return value can be decomposed using wexit status and wstopsig. It's an implementation-defined value, though. Okay, interesting. I never thought to check the return value of it. I wonder what it is, and if we can utilize that, because that actually sounds useful. Wait for a child process to stop or terminate? Potentially a process ID. Options argument is constructed from the bitwise inclusive OR of 0 or more of the following flags. This seems useful. Although, I don't think we have access to all that, but wexit status and wstopsig, maybe. Maybe that's what it returns, right? The macro evaluates to the low order 8 bits of the status argument that the child process passed to exit. If the value of w if stopped is non-zero, this macro evaluates to the number of the signal that caused the child process to stop. So maybe that's actually useful to us. Let's just see what happens. That's interesting. I never thought to just check that, but that might be all we need to make progress. That didn't print out anything? That's weird. It's just not... This is the right command, right? Test cpp-o test, so running test. Like, am I going insane here? I mean, one of the warnings went away, so I know it's kind of doing what it's supposed to do. But like... I mean, I can add a return, but it's got like an explicit return? Implicit return? Am I really just gonna print like hello world to make sure this is working? What is going on today? I thought this would be a very simple fix, but we're running into issues all over the place. Yeah, something's wrong. Something's very much wrong here. That should have produced a message. So I'm not certain what happened, but test is not producing what I think it's supposed to. Let's compile it with debug flags. Oh, is the -o mean it's an object? I don't think that's the case, right? GDB tests, let's just, if we were gonna breakpoint anywhere, it would just be on the next line, right? We would just step. We would just run one. No executive multiple files specified? Okay, so I think there's my answer, right? GDB test. Okay, it's got a size of 0, which is concerning. What? What? That's confusing. Oh, it's outputting here, I think. That was modified at the same time this was. So what happened here? Okay, so it's probably lowercase, isn't it? Have I been messing up this whole time using lowercase? No, that can't be right, right? There's no way. Where is -O target name? I think capital -O is something else. Oy. There we go, there's an executable, finally. So it's probably going to a.out this whole time, and I'm just being crazy. So that prints out a 256. Or, I guess, yeah. Something to do with the flags as well, we're gonna have to check that. That's interesting, and then we try what? Like, let's try one of the known IPs. So it would be nice if we actually export the correct executable, first of all. So what was the other G++ command I ran? Was that correct? This one was correct, it was lowercase o. So I typoed it by putting uppercase o, which is absolutely great. Also, Olex the Dev, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Hope you had a good stream. We are in the middle of messing with some stuff because we need to. Had a great stream, thanks. It's awesome. Good to hear. Yeah, we're in the middle with messing with output from standard system, which I would like to try to use. It's not great, but I might be able to make use of it. We'll see. But I also want to see what happens if I just echo this. Now that I know what's wrong, at least we can see if we get something sensible from this. Which was like... I need my IPs again. Let's do... sudo IP. So essentially we're trying to block out IP addresses, but we're using IP tables, which apparently has a limit somewhere around 65,000. So because of that, when one list fills up, we have to add to another list. But I'm using standard system calls, which means getting return values is not quite as simple as just checking what the return value is, but maybe standard system returning something might be useful. We're about to find out. So I'm just grabbing a random IP that's already in this list. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back. And I want to see what the echo produces too. That'd be nice. Let me just combine these two commands. And that's not what I wanted. So the echo should be added to a last command file. So we should be able to view that. Slash... or home directory slash last command. Okay, so now it exists, and it's a 0, which I don't think is what I wanted. Oh, well, it might... yeah, I'd imagine that wouldn't work because these are like separate sessions. I guess you could try something like this, and maybe that'll work. Just stick them together so it's all done at once. So that might actually work. Hi, have fun with the stream. I see you done some bunny game speedruns. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a fun game. Okay, something happened. Echo not found, and then we got a big thing. Alright, let me see. Oh yeah, I need a space. That would be great. So he gets 0 again. Oh wait, well we get 0 output there, but what's under last command? Last command is a 1, which is more interesting to us. But the output from here is... well, it's 0 because Echo probably succeeds, right? That's what we're expecting. I will be right back. I need to use the bathroom. Alright, and so I will say we are making progress with getting a return value that's sensible. The question is, can I use it from standard systems? So before I commit to this, because we know this is working in some sense, let's try seeing if this works. If we add a command that actually validates and we can determine the difference. I'm just trying to think here. Well, I assume that this is no different from this. Like, both will produce a 256. That's my assumption. So yes, 256, different message. And then if it succeeds, we're gonna assume 0. Okay. Let's just try real quick. I'm gonna remove an IP from here and then run a command to add it back in. 14, 191, 142, 96. And we're going to call delete from deny list. Okay. So now, if we run that command to add it back in, it should succeed. 114.191.142.96. So now we get 0. So we at least have a sensible result from standard system in regards to this. So now can we use that to our advantage with our program to get what we want out? That is the next question to answer. So if we do this and we don't get a 0, because we're always gonna get a number if we echo it, then, or if we return from this, what do we do then? Like, let's say int result is stored in here, right? So if result is equal to 0, it's succeeded and the IP has been banned. If result is non-zero, it hasn't been banned, but we don't know if it's already been banned or needs to be banned. And essentially, it doesn't hurt to run the IP set add command again, but ideally we want to go with the next strategy, which is we're going to read in the list of IPs that are banned and store them in our program. So I think that's the next objective. So let's get that done now. I'm gonna go to probably right here at the very beginning, and let's just go ahead and open. Well, first we have to run the command, right? So we'll go ahead and run a command to store the list of IPs somewhere. So IP set list deny. Well, it's gotta be every list, right? So at the beginning we parse every list, but at the same time, I guess we can grab all the IPs from those lists too. So, yeah. So right here would be the name of the list, so let's store that. Standard string list name. And we are consistent with the naming, so it should be predictable what the list name is. But for now, we're just gonna do this. So given we have that, if... go ahead and run that command now. So standard system IP set list plus list name. I think that's all we have to do. IP set list deny list. Yeah, that's all we have to do, and then we get a giant list, so let's just save that somewhere. Slash IPs or something. Quite simply. So far so good, I think. Store all this as a C string. And then after that, let's read it in IP list. And then again, we'll do while file good. We'll go ahead and read them all in. File good, IP list.good. Read these in. Line. And we'll just store each one as an item inside the IP ban list, which is this unordered set right here. So IP ban list dot emplace back, or emplace inside of line. We have to do standard get line first. Get line on IP ban list. Store in line. Or excuse me, IP list. And pay IP ban list on place, whatever is inside of line as an IP. And that should be it. Now when we go here, instead of already banned, now we just look if this IP has been banned, is either set to not banned, or it already exists in the list, right? Like, we can check if it already exists in the list and go from there, because we don't have to insert it if it does. So, let's see. We can put an or statement here or not. IP ban list dot count. And we just say our IP address right here. Then we're inserting or emplacing. I think they're the same thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna do insert. I think emplace has some other implications, but I'm just gonna do insert. So now we don't need already banned. We just have not banned or banned. So this can go away. And we're gonna look at result and say if result is equal to 0, it has been banned. And if it has been banned, new offender detected. If it's not banned, we're gonna do all this. And listening for the result has to change now. So let's see. This would mean it didn't fit into any of these. So we have to try to create a new table. We have to try IP set add. We'll also get the result. So we're not gonna do this anymore. We're just going to get the result right here. And the result from finding that will determine if we added it successfully or not. So if result is not equal to 0, it failed. Finally do these, new offender added. Alright, hopefully we have a system that actually works now. With proper result checking. Alright, let's try this one more time. We're gonna go all the way back. We're gonna get pull first, actually. Okay. And then let's get this compiled. Don't need debug flags. Funny enough, I know -O is supposed to be optimization, so it's like, why did I think that was for output? Silly me. Not realizing. And then I'm just gonna try a sudo git t blocker and see what happens first. Okay. Alright, this is interesting. And also, what is going on? Okay. Is this like an infinite loop? I don't think it's an infinite loop, but I think it probably is adding all of them without detecting if they've already been added. Oh, I do have not IP ban list.counts here. And then I have if IP ban list.count IP address, then return. So it kept saying new offender blank detected and added to table 2. Oh, also this is, ooh, I see. I forgot to remove this. That's my bad. But then we check if result is equal to 0, so this is like... I don't know, that was a mess. That definitely wasn't the correct logic. It was like reading that file, but the file wasn't being used for anything, so I don't know if that actually mattered. But yeah, what we had before was like if denies result.good, which it always should have, and then it would output that line, but that line would always be blank, so that, again, that didn't matter. Just... Okay, this isn't needed because it's redundant. We check up here if it already exists, so that's good. Also, I think there might be more to ban IP than I originally thought. No, not really. Yeah, like, there's just something wrong here. So we might have to break point a few more times. It looks like we're getting closer, but still not quite the intended result. Alright. Goodness. What a headache this has become. Let's see here. Yeah. Sometimes you hope for like a very quick fix, but it turns into a very long session with unforeseen bugs. Or just silly things like me not using the right command or the wrong arguments, right? Just things you forget about or don't expect. And this all adds up to issues, so... Life of a developer, right? And today we're mostly stuck in Linux, so... It is what it is. Let me just try this again, see what happens. Oh, I need to compile first, actually. G++ -o2-o git t blocker. And again, we might need to run it under GDB. We'll see. Alright, can I run it now? Let's see. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just take a look at what happened, right? So we get these messages, hash is full, cannot add more elements. So it got added to deny list 2, which is a good thing. Now, I think this message down here is wrong now because it's like, okay, this many offenders were banned, but it's really any list, like it's like the combination of every single list. I don't know if I can do that here. I might be able to, but I have to like, I might have to do some bash shenanigans. I wonder if there's like a, oops. I wonder if there's a way to have multiple or all. Print elements sorted, try to resolve IP addresses in the output, ignore errors. Just list set names and set headers. Specify output mode for listing sets. List the entries of a named set or all sets. Can I just say, like, all? Because I know list just shows... Oh. Also, there's a deny list 3 now, apparently. Okay. I did not expect that at all. Interesting. Alright. So, whatever I did before... So if I just do IP set list, I could have sworn... Oh, I see. Every IP gets listed afterwards. That's interesting. Okay. So everything after members shows up. Okay, that's cool. So IP set list will do that for us, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the number because there are some lines that aren't, right? So it's just a rough approximation, which I think is okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's just roll with it. I think I got what I want out of it, which is the important part, right? Okay, so with all that in mind and all that done, God, I wanted to do actual game programming today, but unfortunately we didn't really get to, right? Let's get pull one more time. Let's go ahead and do... So this was the intended result. Let's try restarting Get T blocker service now. If I can find it. Either that or I'm just gonna have to start it. Let's just start it. Sudo system ctl start. If I can type, that'd be great. Get T underscore blocker. So with that done, we should be able to read the logs now. Hopefully. Okay. So it does say it gets added to deny list 2, which I guess is a good thing. Which means it did get added. So that's cool. I actually like that. That works. Everything else did not get added, so that means it was already detected and read in the IP ban lists. So I think we're good now. We're back to having new offenders get moved into a new deny list. So they're getting into deny list 2 now. And it actually works? How do I know it works, right? Like, that's the thing. Oh, I guess the number's going up. Yeah, this number comes straight from the logs. So as long as we're seeing this number go up, it means the number of IPs available among all of our lists has expanded in size. So I guess that's proof that, yes, it is indeed working. So, that took like 2 hours longer than it should have, but we got it done. Cool. A couple lessons learned, including that standard system into outputting stuff is not quite a great system and has caveats, like Linux might be piping to the standard error instead of standard out, or using standard system return type instead of just solely relying on file outputs, which might not necessarily get you what you want, or potentially using echo $? To read errors as well. Just a lot of neat little things, but mostly like Linux centric, right? Like a lot of Linux based stuff today. But yeah, now this is on a continuously expanding like ban list. So I guess that's a good thing, in that when one's full, it moves on to the next, and it keeps trying to add to each ban list until it's full. So I'm happy with that. So with that out of the way... Sorry, it was a little side project today. We can move on to game dev. So we're just going to continue building this project until it either compiles or we run out of time today. Because we still have more to do. We're currently... Oh. Also have the wrong Visual Studio open. I forgot we're currently using Visual Studio Insiders. A little different. But it's funny, I was working in the example project and the Get T blocker project in Visual Studio. So, yeah. Anyways, we're back here. Let's just try a quick build and see where we're at. So the goal is to get this project compilable. The reason why it's currently not compilable is because we're in the middle of a giant refactor of the effect system. We're changing everything from the container from using unique pointers to shared pointers. So obviously the type changes, nothing compiles anymore. So that's where we're currently at. Also, let me adjust these blinds. Make it just ever so slightly darker. Alright, so we have build fails, which is fine. Let's just keep resolving these errors. So right now we have a narrowing conversion. Float to int on line 52 of Firebolt. Which is right here. Float to int. That's interesting. Narrowing conversion. But yeah, this is supposed to be the fire damage, and I don't know why it didn't complain about this before, but it's complaining now that this narrowing conversion is a problem. But yes, damage turns into an int. We're rounding down, so we're gonna explicitly cast it down. Then we have missing stuff. Let's see why. Okay, yeah, because add effect is different now, or we were in the middle of changing stuff. Yeah, it looks like I messed up here and left in a parenthesis from the old version. Because it used to be standard make unique, and then you put in all the effect parameters, so we used to use parentheses instead of the braces. So with that gone, it's possible I messed up a few times trying to convert to that system. Yeah. Okay, and then we're over here, where we expected a different type of brace. Again, like messing up, right? Not changing certain things. Thinking this true was like the end of the function instead of the end of this effect instantiator. Then under Meteor, looks like the same problems keep popping up. So again, this one, get rid of that. Just typos everywhere. We're working on it. Let's see, pulsating fire. Same deal, same deal. Fixes those. Was it really that loud this whole time? Dang. I apologize. Music was a little bit loud today. A little louder than usual. Like, I usually speak pretty much have full volume into my microphone, so it shouldn't be a problem, but it gets distracting if it's too loud. At least I think so. It's supposed to just be like ambient noise, kinda. That's how I like to treat it anyway. And then down here, it looks like we have another effect that is incorrect. Oh, it's a standard move. So again, this is one of the big things I was talking about when I was saying we're refactoring this, is that now, first of all, we don't create the pointer in another instance. We actually just specify the effect parameters, and we specify it directly into here. Like before, we were actually adjusting the scale speed before sending it into here because we realized the problem was it was going to make a pointer that went somewhere else, so we would have to move the pointer ourselves after adjusting it. Well, the new system makes it so we have to pass in an R value effect, and that means it has to be instantiated in here. Add effect returns the pointer, which then you can use for whatever you like. So that's nice. So in here, we're going to return a standard weak pointer effect, which we can actually use. Oh, well, hold on. I didn't know what I was trying to do. Okay. This is effect. And then we can do whatever we want with it afterwards. But essentially, the lesson learned here is that we get an actual pointer that is designed or constructed by the game itself. We're not modifying something that we're not supposed to, and that will actually show up in-game. Because prior to this, if we adjusted something before sending it to the before sending it to add effect, no, if we just did it afterward, well, the reference to it would be different, because this is creating an effect inside of a list, and this list is going to have a new pointer in it, so it wouldn't be necessarily the same reference that we were passing into here. So modifying it afterward would result in bugs, no changes. That is very counterintuitive. And so by forcing this R value, we're saying you have to add it in here, you're going to get a reference, or in this case a pointer. Use that pointer, because that actually will refer to the correct object. I really like how I designed it. It's a very good way to make sure we're not creating bugs we didn't intend to. This is interesting. It's just an extra parenthesis. Yeah. So just a lot of little typos everywhere for in terms of trying to refactor this. Alright, what's next? We gotta keep going. Not convert all argument types for monster abilities. Where's that? Okay, so we're over here. Yeah, this hasn't been converted yet, so let's do that. Make a brand new meteor. And presumably these other ones haven't been converted, like the monsters blizzard. Actually, it looks like it has. It's just I typoed that. Still doesn't like it? That's weird. It should be okay with this. I guess IntelliSense was just slow and it was catching up. Missed a parenthesis there. Let's see. Did I miss one here too? No. Alright, this file looks good. Alright. Another narrowing conversion. I think it's complaining about it now because it's trying to add it as an actual value right away. Whereas before... I'm trying to think how it was handled before, right? Anyways, float to int. Let's see, it'll be right here? Yeah. So, I think when it's getting passed in as an R value, it needs to know exactly what the object values are. So I think now that it's complaining about these narrowing conversions is because of that reason. For some reason, make unique and make shared, I think, like, implicitly figure that out. I think I'd rather it be explicit, even if it's more annoying, right? Like, I want to make sure I'm explicitly, like, doing these narrow conversions. Like, I know these narrow conversions are the way I want them to be. I think that should have been all I had to do there. There was just an extra parenthesis. Give me more errors. What else we got? Ooh, a lot in player. Yeah, player party has a few effects, so that's expected, I think. Let's take a look. So I did modify these, but probably missed the parens again. So there's those two. Well, that was just cascading, so that's fixed. Element 5 has a narrowing conversion on poison bottle line 66. Again, probably the damage, yep. So let's just cast that down. Alright. Because yeah, if it's like a decimal, let's give the benefit of the doubt damage-wise and always scale it down. Or we could round it. Rounding does not sound like a terrible idea either, but either way we gotta be consistent. So once again, we have this, so we're going to specify it in here. So the entire effect is defined like so. And then afterwards, we adjust the scale speed ourselves. So we're gonna get a hit effect out of this. It's going to be a weak pointer. And the weak pointer can be modified, coming out of the add effect function. We just have to ask the game for a reference to our new effect. And nice typo. Okay. Looks like we just got a few more and then we're actually compiled. Looks like the same issue here. We have another hit effect, which needs to be defined over here as a weak pointer. Created from an effect defined inside of that effect as an R value. And then adjusting the scale speed afterwards. Like so. Alright, a little bit more. Again, narrowing conversions, sandworm. Sandworm? Where's sandworm? Oh, it's over here, I think. Line 81. Oh. What is this supposed to be? A float. Not an inch, so is that a bug? I think it's a good thing that it told me that it was, not a float, because that's probably a bug. Oops. Then we got another one into float over here. This one is supposed to be the rotation speed, perhaps? No, because color is right before it, so it has to be the rotation, and then the rotation speed is after. So the rotation is supposed to be a float too. Okay. So we'll do that. Then we have thrown projectile, line 56. Looks like we messed up the parens again. Where's line 56? Right here. Game add effect. Explode effect off value. Okay. Yeah, that got messed up for sure. Alright, another error. Cannot convert. So this was looking for a vector of effect pointers. It should be now a standard shared pointer vector of effects. Like so. I think everything else will remain relatively the same. Yeah, because it's all still pointers, so the same syntax should work. Looks like we have an issue down here somewhere. Oscillator fade in out effect. Oh, I see. This should be a standard weak pointer. Pointing to an effect. And effect, lock, set type. Cool. that might be all we have time for today. We're going to have to continue next time. I know we spent a majority of the time messing with Linux and that Git ban list thing, but it definitely taught us some things, and looks like the code for the game finally compiled, so we can go back to our original intention of working on the thrown projectile linked to the lightning bolts next time. So we're gonna be doing that tomorrow. Actual stuff, so no more weird side projects. But for those of you that tuned in today, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.